This BlizzCon update is brought to you by GoDaddy. Hey guys, Tara Long here, still on the BlizzCon show floor, but guess who we ran into? It's Tom Merritt of Tom's Top 5, which is another excellent program on Revision 3. Welcome, and thank you for joining with us.
Thanks, Tara.
So this is actually your first BlizzCon, right?
Yeah, I've done the DirecTV Pass version in my own home, but this is the first time in meat space.
Would you say it's worth the actual ticket price?
You know, it's
coming
different.
in.
It's different. Watching it at home, you get everything, and you're uninterrupted, and you can, wear whatever you want. You're not fighting crowds, but you miss the interaction. You miss that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I was in the opening ceremonies, just hearing people, cheering around you, getting that visceral reaction. It's really fun.
Yeah, we actually just saw the World of Warcraft preview. They talked a lot about it a little bit during the open ceremonies, and then they had like an hour and a half long thing where they just went through every single aspect of it. But have you actually gotten a chance to play the new monk class?
No, I haven't got my hands on it yet. I got to go get in line and take a play at it.
I toyed around with it for about 15 minutes. It's pretty good. So the obvious big announcement was Mists of Pandaria, which I've actually been calling Pandaria, but then they said it was Pandaria, so now apparently I've been wrong this entire time.
I know, I was twittering it during the announcement. I was like, how do you spell this? It's like trying to make sure I get it right.
What do you think of the class? Is this something that you might be playing?
Yeah, I'll obviously give it a try. I'm not going to replace my main with a Pandaran monk, but I love the class. I love the monk class. I think that's really cool and fun. I think a lot of people are going to be put off by really, that's your big announcement, you're adding pandas. But the way they describe the world and some of the mechanics they're changing really looks like it's going to be a much more fun expansion than just here's a bunch of pandas rolling around.
Yeah, obviously people are really excited about the pandas, but they have completely retooled the talent system as well, so there's not going to be talent points anymore. It's going to work completely differently. You'll have a choice of 3 main talents every 15 levels, and you'll just be able to choose one of them. They're also adding pet combat, which is kind of a cool thing. You can have pets now in World of Warcraft, obviously, but now your pets will you can have a team of them, just like a harem of pets, and you can just unleash them on other people's pets, which is kind of cool.
Very Pokemon.
Yeah,
I can't wait to level up my snow bunny.
There are a lot. One of the creatures that they talked about looks kind of like a deranged bunny, so they are definitely going in much more of a cartoonish direction, I think,
with
the art style.
The Brewmaster pet. It is kind of like that, too.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's what they're showing.
They showed a few of them that were kind of adorable, but also very menacing. So what do you think overall of the announcements here? Are you really excited, or do you think this is kind of lukewarm in terms of announcements?
I actually, for the Warcraft expansion pack, I'm really excited because I like the idea that we're going to get a single continent to play.
Right.
One place to kind of roam through. I liked that. I missed that from Northrend with the Cataclysm was all spread out, which was fun as a change, but I want to go back to that ability.
Are you excited now by the idea of having a central hub for Alliance and Horde? Because now, they're both going to start out in the same continent, and then it's not until you get to level 10. This is just if you're Pandaren, by the way. Because they're a neutral race, but if you make it to level 10, you can then decide if you want to be Alliance or Horde, but you're neutral up until that point.
Yeah, that's really interesting. As far as the zone, when in Northrend, where you started on one side of the island as Alliance, the other side of the island is Horde, I always felt I want to see that other side.
Exactly.
But I don't want to play Alliance because they're scum, so I'll just have to visit it later. Whereas the Pandaren thing, where you're playing your first 10 levels neutral, and then you pick Horde or Alliance, I think that's a really interesting way to go about, because it gives you some time to explore the character and see how you feel, which should be Horde.
Exactly, and it kind of ties in with their whole plan to sort of make the game less linear and more open, because they were talking about there'll be certain areas where you can kind of take 2 different paths. You can go north or you can go south, and you can go back and do the other one when you're done, but it doesn't force you to choose exactly where to go by their decree, I guess. You can kind of figure it out on your own.
Some of the end game questing is what I'm most excited about, because of that fact of when you get to the end, it's not just going to be here are your 3 dailies and you're done. They're going to try to put things out there to make you get out and make it worth doing quests even once you reach max level.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited about the class and the race changes, because I get to play an undead monk.
Yeah, they've opened a lot of it up now. The Pandaren obviously have special abilities, I think your falling damage is decreased by 50%. You can now just eat food to restore all of your stats to 100%. Cooking is plus 15, all sorts of cool things hidden in there that there are way too many for me to just lift off here. Yeah,
when
bouncing.
When you fall, you get a 50% decrease, I think?
Yeah, 50%. And you have this cool roll move also, which is a secret hack for just like walking really fast. I did find it interesting that they've completely eliminated flying mounts until your max level.
Yeah, so that's kind of like Wrath of the Lich King, where once you got to Northrend, you couldn't fly anymore, even though you could fly in Burning Crusade. They're doing that again.
Yeah.
So it says, look, you can't just cheat. You can't just fly into a zone in the middle, get your quest item, and fly out. You got to walk in. You got to fight your way in.
Yeah, I think when they initially announced that, people in the audience were kind of like, oh, what? And then they were like, this is going to make the game a better experience. It's going to be less time wasted and more time doing what you actually want to do and not just getting to places. So after he said that, I think the crowd kind of calmed down a little bit and understood where they were going. So final thoughts on the WoW expansion. What do you think?
Well, I'm probably going to end up paying for a year-long pass so that I can get the free access to Diablo 3 and obviously get into the beta for the expansion. That is a really interesting and cool way to keep people in the game for a year by offering them some goodies. I think that's really smart.
Yeah, definitely clever on the part of Blizzard. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Tom. I suggest you get some hands-on time with the expansion if you can, because it's a lot of fun.
I'm going to run and get in line right now.
Want reliable, secure web hosting without a long-term contract? Then you need to check out GoDaddy. Their hosting plans are bigger and better than ever with 99.99% uptime, free 24/7 support, and no annual commitment. Maybe you need a new host for your guild's website, or maybe you want to create a website to show off your Diablo 3 beta exploits. You can do that even if you're on the go thanks to GoDaddy's free iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry apps. If you enter the code TOY3 at checkout, you can get any .com domain name for just $7.99, all while supporting our show. Be sure to check out revision3.com/GoDaddy for a list of all the great deals from Revision 3.